Okay, if you want to learn Hiragana and Katakana, and why wouldn't you, I recommend you get one of these, a practice sheet. I made this one myself, and I would use them to practice writing them out of memory. I'm gonna try it right now, and see how long it takes. Ta-da! Made a few mistakes where I thought I was writing katakana when I was supposed to be writing hiragana. Plus some of them look weird, but whatever. I'm gonna find out how it took this long. Yeah, so actual learning practice I can't really tell you how, but I can tell you some of my experiences and how I learned katakana in hiragana. So let's do that. Alright, let's talk about little interesting tidbits when it comes to hiragana and katakana. First up, stroke order. I personally think stroke order is not that important. As long as what you're drawing or writing ends up looking like it should, it doesn't really matter. Usually, I follow the stroke order. Like, this is where you're supposed to write an A. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but now there are a few exceptions where I always have written it differently, and then I check the stroke order and see that they want me to do it a different way. For instance, na. I draw it like this, and they say I should draw it like this. I think that drawing this one first has me a little bit at a disadvantage exactly where I should draw the other part. Like here. Okay, now I come off there, and then I have to go back a little bit, and I think this is more zoom first, and then the big strokes first, and then a little doop. Why not save that for last? That's how I do it. Same, there's also a difference with ya. I do like this. Long. They want me to do this. And it just seems weird to me. Okay, now to some hiragana that look similar to each other. There are a couple of groups like this. I think A and Me and Nu all have this kind of thing. The only difference with A is that basically you have, if you take a Me and do a this, you kind of have an A, kind of. Also, as an addendum to that, you have Yi, which is an outdated hiragana that's not used anymore. But the only reason really I know of it is first that it looks like these, and that the comedy sketch team, Yoiko, used this hiragana in their name for some reason. I have no idea why, because it's Yoiko, and they should have just had like this. It's not Yojiku, but whatever. They probably just want to be funny and original or something. But that's why I know it anyway. Now there's another group of 3 that are similar. It's Wa, Re, and Ne. They all have the same kind of thing. The Wa goes inwards, the Re goes out a little bit, and the Ne goes in a loop. Now these, I had to change my drawing method. Because when I first did them, I used to think that it was little there, long one, and then this thing going like that. That's how I thought you were supposed to do it. Like that. Before I realized that you're actually supposed to just draw a line and then do this kind of little Z and continue. He, or the particle e, It's very simple, and it's the only one that looks exactly the same in Hiragana and Katakana. And if you take a he and sort of flip it, you have like a little check. And that's kind of a little bit of how I remembered it at first. Two more hiragana that look like each other, ro and ru. They are identical except for this little loop here. And at first, I was all geared up to say, okay, this is ru because this is little u. But it's not, it's the opposite. Now, two more. Ha and ho. Ha and ho. The only difference really is that you have one more line over the ho. Got some more stuff. Remember she? Well, we have mo, which is the exact same with two lines in it. Makes it easier to remember. Another little similarity, we have ko, which is also, I think, comes from this. It was really, I think it started out like that. I think there's a kanji that looks kind of like that. But then you're supposed to like stop and continue. But then ko, the same principle basically. If you add a line first, it's ni. And then if you had this, it's ta. So that's a little way of connecting those three. You have ko, ni, and ta. They're kind of related in my book. And e, to me, it looks a little bit like a curvier version, except this little part, of su from katakana. That's how I remembered it from the beginning. And u in hiragana kind of like looks like a rounder version of ra. And now for my personal favorite, hiragana characters that look like stuff. This is kind of a little bit of a trick that I used to learn myself when I was just starting out way back in 2006. But no, I haven't been studying Japanese since 2006, because if I had, I would have been much further ahead by now. But still, you have, for this one for instance, she looks like a fishing hook. You just add this little thing where the line's supposed to go. Oh, I missed it, but whatever. And then you have the fish. Ah, G, the fish hook. Speaking of fish, you, to me, kind of looks like a fish. If you do like this, if you just complete this, and add an I, you have a fish, don't you? Ku is just a simple less than, more than symbol. Also, I mean, it's very easy to remember if you're anything like me. You look at this like this, like that, and then me. I see that kind of as a JX. If you draw a J like this, and you continue, and then you draw a circle, then you have me. And so, that's a Z and a C. You have the Z and you have the C. Put them together, so. Same kind of deal with wo, little thing first, then an H, and then a C. Right, there's two other points of contention. It kind of has to do with the drawing order, but still not. Stroke order, I mean. You have sa and ki, and in parentheses you have chi. I only bring up chi because it's the exact mirror double of sa. That's what we have to remember. The sa goes that way, chi goes this way. But when it comes to sa and ki, there's a thing that always is brought up, and personally I don't care, but whatever, you probably need to know, but they're really supposed to be more like that. When you're drawing with your hand, with a pen or a, it comes from what's it called? Paintbrush. You're not supposed to go the whole 9 yards, so to speak. You're supposed to stop there and then continue like that. And I don't bother with this personally. because basically just because it's simpler and I'm a lazy bastard. But this way is how it looks in print. And I have been told that you should not write this with your hand. This is only for computers and stuff. But I figure, what Japanese person is looking at that in a letter, handwritten letter, and saying, what character is that? No one is going to confuse it for this in reality. Se also has a different stroke order than I'm used to. They want to draw this line first, this part then, and then this. And that goes. It's kind of contrary to my principles, if you can call it that. But I think that the biggest line is to be drawn first, and then this, and because I know then where it connects exactly, and then this little part at the end. So 1, 2, 3. That's how I do it. And the correct version, if you want to call it that, is that, and that, which just now actually looked better. So maybe I'll have to reconsider that. But I probably won't. Anyway, a couple of more similarities. Ri, hiragana, looks like a curvier version of ri from katakana. Also with ri, there's an interesting thing where there I actually go by the difference between handwriting and print, because the print version of ri looks like this. When I draw it on hand, I always do this. So there I go by the rules, like a good little boy. Ka in hiragana looks almost exactly like the ka from katakana. The difference is it's not as pointy, it's not as stiff looking, and it has a little line added. Otherwise, I'd say it's identical. Ra looks like a 5 that's been hurt. Ow! And the final strangeness of hiragana is fu, which can be written several different ways. This is one way. I've seen this, just kind of like a number 3 with this.